ThudTwit in the Constellation, which is a ship we haven't seen a lot of. It's actually, I was really excited. Side note, I was really excited for the ship when it was announced because the Constellation is supposed to be what the Lexington, which was a battle cruiser originally, was supposed to be, right? The Lexington in U.S. naval history was laid down to be a battle cruiser along with the Saratoga in the 1920s, early 1920s or late teens. I can't remember the exact date that the keel was laid. Um, but with the Washington Naval Treaty, she was converted into a aircraft carrier, and so she and the Saratoga became the first two aircraft carriers, fleet aircraft carriers for the United States Navy following the Langley. So their designations are CV2 and CV3. After that came Enterprise Hornet and Yorktown, which were purpose-built carriers, like designed from the ground up to be carriers. So Lexington and Saratoga, in my opinion, were the most beautiful carriers because they had the nicest lines. They were very long, they had good armor plating, and they had tons of storage room inside, partly because the hulls are so big. Now, the Constellation in this game is a what if. What if the Lexington was modernized? So these were the original guns. These are Colorado guns. These are the original guns that were supposed to be on the Lexington, okay, and the Saratoga. So what if she got modernized? What if she got modernized midway through World War II, much like the Colorado and many of the other battleships, Tennessee, right, were modernized, and they got modernized with this massive bolt-on addition, right here. And they also got modernized with their dual 5-inch dual-purpose guns, secondaries, and of course additional modernizations, things like the fire control radars and stuff like that. So, you know, that's what this ship is. It's a what if. Um, Frankly, I want to see Lexington still. I want to see the original 1920s Lexington added to the game as, say, a Tier 6 battle cruiser. I think that would be fun as hell to see what she would look like. Or even Tier 5, I don't know. And I still want to see an original Lexington added to the game. The Lexington in this game is actually the Saratoga. Because the original Lexington had it had two sets of triple 8-inch guns, much like the guns you see on the Pensacola. It had those originally on the deck. Actually, I think they were dual. Yeah, they were double, not triple gun barrel, but double guns. But anyway, they had them on the ship, and then Lexington sank in Coral Sea before she could be modernized with those dual-purpose 5-inch guns that Saratoga received. So the Lexington that you're actually playing in the game is actually the Saratoga. It's not the Lexington, because Lexington didn't exist in the format that she has in the game. Oh well. So I'd love to see an original Lexington with those 8-inch guns, and you know, between World War One and World War Two era aircraft, like what the Ranger has. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But I digress. Let's take a look at the Constellation and talk about her. Now, one thing about the Constellation I don't like is because of that added bulge, she eats damage so easily. It's so much extra space for shells to hit and penetrate. It's very easy to take a lot of damage in the Constellation. At Tier 8, she's got Colorado guns I mentioned, so they're a little anemic in Tier 8, especially in a Tier 10 game. She can hold her own in a Tier 9, just like the Colorado can. And obviously, when she's top tier in a Tier 6 game, she's fantabulous. She also has torpedoes. A lot of people forget that Wargaming gave her torpedoes. These torpedoes, I believe, are 10 kilometer? No, 9.2. So they're, Benson torpedoes, essentially. Nice arc on the torpedoes, if I remember right. Yeah, because the launchers are in the rear. You can actually see them right here at the bottom on my screen there. So she's got that. She's got the guns. She's got the secondaries. But the big thing about the Constellation is that she's got radar. She's got 10-kilometer radar. A lot of people forget that she's equipped with that tool. All right, so let's take a look at what ThudTwit has done with this build. ThudTwit went for main armaments, which is good, especially with the torpedoes as well. Damage control system. Artillery plotting room. Um, Side note: you could go for secondary build on Constellation, but you're probably better off just going for main guns like a standard battleship. So I like that you did that, ThudTwit. Um, Damage control modification too, so you burn or flood less. And then you went with torpedo lookout. ThudTwit, why did you do torpedo lookout here?
Just trying to get the torpedoes out of my problem range. So I have lots of anti-torpedo stuff.
Okay.
Here's the problem, though. A lot of torpedoes at the higher tiers these days already have 1.8 kilometers.
Yeah. So in a tier 10 game, this isn't giving you much. In a tier 6 game, it's helping you.
Like European torpedoes, IGN torpedoes, they all have that already. It would help against the German torpedoes, the Russian ones. I guess the most important one against the deep water torpedoes, but I don't know.
And I would say, you know,
What would be a better switch for that then?
Instead of that, concealment. Absolutely concealment. 100%. So if you find yourself taking torpedoes all the time, then that probably means you're being way too aggressive and you're out in the front. And the battleship isn't designed usually to be out front. It's designed to be in the middle. In terms of like the firing line. In theory, you want a destroyer in front of you to screen and spot and blah, blah, blah for you. Reality is it doesn't happen, but, you know, concealment is going to be their better choice because, one, it helps with your concealment. But two, it also helps with dispersion of shells being shot at you. So I would say go with concealment here. You could do consumables mod to boost up your heal time and also your radar time and, you know, spotting aircraft and DCP, but most of the time you're probably better off just doing concealment. So give that a try if you want. It's credits, so it doesn't, you know, it's not like you are wasting much going back to that. And, you know, it's a premium ship, so. Captain skills. Very interesting. Is this a special captain?
It's a regular captain, and that right there is kind of my standard. Just here's a quick build for a captain, for a 10-point captain.
Okay, so
and it's secondary.
I see that. So if you're gonna do secondaries down here, I don't see why you wouldn't do secondaries up here too.
Yeah, like it makes no sense going secondaries on the captain but not on the ship.
So you've got, yeah, that takes you to 10 kilometer.
The second problem I have though with this is, I might be wrong on this, but the secondaries on the Constellation are not improved.
No, they're not.
So a secondary build on that is questionable.
Yep. This is fine in co-op, but in a standard battle, I would not play Constellation around the secondaries. I'd play Constellation as a typical standard battleship build. The other thing is, this is a premium ship, and we talked about this before. If it's a premium ship, there's no reason not to put literally any of these special captains on the premium ship, unless you have them already on a different ship and spec'd accordingly. But you can literally take a captain that you have spec'd for a tech tree battleship, Montana, for example, and you can slap him on this particular ship and be fine with it. You follow what I'm saying, ThudTwit?
Yeah.
Is this captain on any other ship?
No, most of my captains are all on their own ship.
Okay, so that's the biggest benefit of a premium ship, is the fact that you can take a captain from another ship and put it on that premium ship. You don't have to have one specifically for it. And that's important because if you have a captain on each individual ship, what you're doing is you're kind of harming yourself because you're gimping the captain that you have on the premium ship when you play it. You're also slowing down progress of your captain on your tech tree ship. So let's say this captain is your Montana captain at 10 points. Playing the Montana captain on the Constellation and on the Montana helps both progress quicker than having one special on each. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Gaelic, no, we do not, unfortunately. We have our scheduled 5 replays, and then that'll be it. And the way things are going today, we might not even have time for anything else. We'll have to see. Okay, so let's talk about commander build then. And I'm going to put up here my build document. And this is, I always like to talk about this as a good starting point, but it doesn't have to be like the end all be all. Okay, so I pulled up the document and I searched for Constellation. It says if you're using this build in Constellation, use range mod in slot 3. Applies to, so this is a suggested build. It doesn't have to be, but this is a suggested build. And you'll note
It's a standard tank build.
it's
basically.
exactly, it's your standard battleship build. So what I would recommend, especially because this is a premium ship, is you take your battleship commander, slap it on into this, and see what it does, and give it a try. But you can see that they say for constellations you put in the range mod in 3 because it helps with your accuracy. Because at tier 8 you don't have access to the plotting room upgrade in slot 6. Okay, so this is just your standard battleship build. Does it matter? I don't know, but that's how I'd probably build that. Oh wait, hold on, we didn't talk about flags. So you did preventative maintenance, so you're trying to protect the secondaries and the torps. You did vigilance, which by the way, vigilance does help with hydro. Does that also? I can't remember if it also stacks on this or not.
It
Lookout
stacks on
system.
the torpedo lookout. I think the flat one comes first and then 25 extra, so
Okay, it does stack.
but
Okay.
still like
So I mean that can help when you were talking about before, but yeah, it is a lot. Let's see here. Let me just do this. We're gonna clear this out for a sec, ThudTwit, and let's talk about like if you were. Do you switch ammo types a lot?
No, not really, but I play
Okay.
co-op mainly too.
Yeah. So the reason I'm asking is because if you don't, then gunfeeder is useless, and in that case, you could always say preventative maintenance to keep your torpedoes up. Or if it's a standard battleship line, emergency repair specialist or even consumable specialist is okay-ish. But anyways, the reason I bring that up is look at your concealment now, 12-kilometer concealment. Now for the Constellation, remember her radar is at 10. So 12-kilometer gets you a lot closer to being able to spot something with that radar than 15 or so, which you had before. And then signal flags, you've got all in on signals, anti-det, ramming, fire reduction, flood reduction, heal, secondaries, ship speed, and consumables. This is fine. Everything here is good. If you're doing this build up here, I might still run secondaries, or instead of that, you could always run anti-air. Either one of those works fine.
concealment also helps you getting dark because I think the Constellation doesn't have the best armor, if I remember correctly.
Correct, yes. That's what I mentioned earlier. So yeah, concealment helps you go dark and disengage if you need to. And you can see the maximum speed is almost 35 with the flag. With both, thank you, Driftin. It's 2.25 kilometer. Okay. All right, well, let's get into the game and see what happens in this game. This is a middle tier game, so it's a tier 9. There's a carrier involved, both Yorktowns. So if you communicate with your carrier player, you could always say, hey, can you smoke me up the channel, because I'm secondary build and memes can ensue. Vitsky's Rosia isn't, I mean, he'll bow into you. It's going to be hard to kill him. And you have to be able to angle, but you're still going to take decent chunks of damage anyways. Ruprecht is a problem if you let him get in secondary range. North Carolina can also be a problem. I am Groot. You've got Nebraska. Bomb you, whatever. Colorado. Buffalo, Auckland, Fun. lot of land players I recognize here. Auckland's got torpedoes, so you don't want to get close to him on the side. Buffalo could be a good choice. And then destroyer-wise, problematic. Okay. So, you got detected by planes. And you're making it look like you're heading towards the channel. Actually, no, it looks like you're heading towards the D cap.
At first, yes.
What made you want to go to D, considering you spawned over on the A side?
Well, I felt like I kind of spawned in the middle, honestly. So
Yeah, but I mean,
I was
you... Go ahead.
no, I was basically just turning to put my guns that direction to see what was going to come this way and heading towards the other side. So
Okay.
Yeah, but considering where the other ships that spawned in the middle went, I think the A cap would have been better. Like you're creating an imbalance now.
Mm-hmm. Or even just go up
that
the channel.
that does change, but you'll see.
Mm-hmm. This is, ironically enough, this is actually a pretty good ship to go up the channel in, because you've got the torpedoes, you've got the secondaries, and you've got the radar. So you can't be really surprised if somebody does come right down the channel.
Yeah, when you mentioned that about the carrier and talking to him, I was like, wow, that would have been really a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, so Yorktown spotted. You could actually pop your plane and hit him. You probably weren't noticing that, though. Yeah, you're looking at
No,
the buck
I was looking at the ships coming around the corner and the ones that I had a broadside shot on, so that
Fair.
was kind of my aim. And well, they never come out.
I do not like this turn here.
There's two reasons for it.
Okay.
Well, I didn't want to be a real big target, and I was thinking I'm going to go back and support potentially the Seattle in case they're going up this channel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm still trying to take a shot. And like I said, they never came out. And so I was like, okay.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. You don't want to give the you don't want to just come out in front of the Rosia. He's just going to sit there. By the way, Yorktown and Buffalo are both good choices for you right now. Looks like you see the Yorktown. Colorado guns are so comfortable. Oh, Paulo Amelia just nuked the Nebraska. Look at him over there. That's right, Hujam. You see carrier, you shoot carrier. Easy peasy.
So my decision here at this point was to push around and help the A side.
Okay. Two things of note. One, your secondaries would be shooting at him right now if you had gone with secondaries in slot 3.
Right.
Two, you should be control clicking on him anyways, so that you don't have to remember to do that later. Right now, you've got the flexibility of doing that. There's nothing else that your brain is trying to do, right? So you can click on that, and then you can continue playing the game.
I was kind of wondering if anybody was going to attempt to take the channel, so I was kind of keeping an eye on that.
Which is why you radared here, and I don't like that. I think you would have been better off waiting for this Schultz to smoke.
Okay.
Actually,
I
like,
still need
to
to count
Schultz,
the
he's not
enemy
going to.
ships, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
11 of those ships were spotted. Like, there's literally nothing that could have been going up the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I thought about that, but I was at the time not paying attention to that, and I was thinking I'll clear the channel by radar, and if I don't see anything, then I'll keep going to A.
Okay. You haven't clicked on him yet, so you would have killed him maybe a little bit quicker with your secondaries if you had clicked on him.
Problem solved, sir.
And of course, bad luck. You take 2 torpedoes despite having all of the torpedo stuff.
Yeah.
Because if I remember right, vigilance now, it only impacts if it hits your torpedo belt, right?
Is it not for
For
the
for
damage
the for
reduction?
the damage reduction, yeah.
Yeah, the damage reduction is only it improves the torpedo belt, like the torpedo protection by 7%.
Right.
So if the
So hitting it
torpedo
in the
belt
bow
gets
doesn't help.
bypassed, it doesn't reduce the torpedo damage, no.
Well, it looks like you have the ability to just jump on into the A cap now, huh?
Yeah, that was my goal at that point.
Rip your Shiratsuyu. Where the heck was he? Oh, all the way on the edge. Okay. So what's your plan after you get into A and you cap it?
Looking at where they were, I decided to do a hard push all the way around. So I was literally going to just push as hard as I could.
Okay. I mean, you're secondary build, so you've got the build for that kind of thing. I'm concerned about the Rosia. He's already starting to turn to... He's probably going to just show up right here. He's going to be very difficult to take out. Unless you can get on him with your torps. Alright, click on the Colorado. Nice citadel there on the North Carolina. That radar did not need to happen.
And that's
Paulo
because
took up...
I wasn't counting ships, so I didn't. I was concerned that somebody might be hiding back there.
Mm-hmm.
Because your 2 DDs were way on the other side, and I was wondering where there was a DD.
Well, there's only 2, and their last known were way over here on the 10 line.
Exactly, but they were kind of stacked on each other, so I thought there was only 1 over there, and I thought there was 1 hidden.
Okay. Are you watching... Is your mini-map like this? When you play?
Yeah, a little bigger, but yeah, it's a little bigger.
Okay. You can see the difference of minimap size telling you that information. Like, if you get in the habit of making that minimap bigger, I would. Because right now, you could have radared the Chumfan and shot him.
Yeah, I was focusing on him, and I was looking at this board position, and I decided to go full YOLO at this point.
Your secondaries, you haven't clicked again.
Nope,
Unless
I was
there's a
fixing to
replay
say
bug.
that. Keep shooting the Chumfan. You've got torpedoes. If the Rosia is gonna... You... Okay. He's gonna try to ram you. Actually, well... That. Fortunately, the Prince Heinrich takes him down.
Problem solved, sir.
But yeah, you've invested 4 points into a skill that you have not used this entire game.
Gotcha.
Turn, luck check your torch before you die. And hey, that big.
Also in general, like with the accuracy secondaries, like look how close you are in the end for like what was that? 3 minutes?
Gas.
2 minutes? 3 minutes of the
Mhm.
secondaries firing?
Mhm.
I think you have like 40 secondary hits. That's not good.
Right.
Well, but part of that, a big part of that, is because he didn't click, right? If he had control clicked on the
let
target,
him click. What has he if he clicks? 60? That's still not good.
oh, it's a lot better than what he would have had otherwise. I'm just saying, if he's gonna put all of that in, also don't forget the slot 3, right? Because that helps with the secondary range, and doesn't it also help with reload. Sure. No, shell dispersion.
I'm rather like, don't bother with the secondaries on this ship.
I mean, hey, if he's gonna do it, but you gotta remember to be, using the click.
Yeah, if you want to keep the build, you gotta click. It's true.
And change that slot 3 to the secondary. I think that would have helped you quite a bit with a bunch more hits too. Nice hit on the North Carolina. Got him to flood. Cruise control. I think that's how it's pronounced. Welcome. Thanks for the follow. In Chaos, we're doing fine. We're just doing some replays, having a good time. So, ThudTwit, do you have any other questions? Anything else you want to talk about from this replay?
So as a ship build, I should probably pull away from the secondary build concept on the Constellation then.
I would say
I would
you
go
can have
away.
you can have two different builds. You can have one build for co-op, even asymmetric would be fine for a secondary build. And you can have a random battle build, which would be your standard battleship. Like I said, because this is a premium ship, the nice thing is you can have both of those, right? Very easily. Just whatever tech tree American battleship you're on, throw him and that build onto your Constellation. Play the Constellation in randoms. And then if you want to keep this build for co-op or asymmetric, fine. Don't spend the doubloons to change it. There's no need to, because you've probably got a plethora of American captains you can just slap on this ship, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put a destroyer captain on and play with a different build and try it and see how it works, So I'm sure you've got American tech tree ships, though, right?
You can do that. I would just, like, if you want to play a secondary battleship at tier 8, I would just play a different battleship. Like, go.
Oh, sure.
Like, I don't know if you have a Massachusetts, but that would be probably one of the better choices.
Mm-hmm.
You could go Bismarck, you could go Seaton, you could go like Atlantico if you have it or something. Like, I wouldn't do it on a Constellation.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, I have
Yep.
those.
So yeah, if you want your secondary fix, right, do a different ship.
As a base ship for just plain random, which one would you suggest it for a battleship at tier 8?
Well,
For secondaries at tier 8 in a random battle?
Just in general.
I mean,
in general, you're probably going to be better off with the Massachusetts just due to how fast it gets its DCP and all that stuff back.
yeah,
Right.
like
if you're talking tech tree ships, North Carolina's fine.
Bismarck.
I'm a fan. Yeah, right.
Okay.
North Carolina for a standard battleship build, and then Bismarck for a secondary build. There you go.
Now, don't fall into the trap that the North Carolina is a sniper. It is not.
Nope.
It's
everything is a sniper if you stay far enough away.
right, even a curve first, and then I get laughed at. But
All right. Hold on. I forgot. We gotta look at your screens. So you were actually killed by the Chumfan. That's interesting.
Yeah.
There you are in the middle. And let's take a look at your secondaries. So your ship fired off 2,970 secondaries and only 41 hit.
Right.
Wait, that's a bug. There's no way it fired 2,900 shells.
Oh, no, wait, sorry. That's damage.
That's a
This
damage.
is shells fired. 172. It's been a long day. Anyway, that's still like Grunty said, that's pretty abysmal. They were shooting at a destroyer, and then they were shooting at a couple of battleships towards the end there. But
Yeah,
like the secondary
not
module
only is
control
it
clicking would
abysmal on
help.
the hit rate, the conversion from the hits to the damage is even worse.
Well, that's why I thought that was number of shells fired. But anyways, yeah, I mean, it's just use the click. Now let's take
Hey,
a
I
look
got
at
2 Colbert strapped to my Constellation.
right. Let's take a look at the damage received. The Sovietsky Russia, because you went and turned broadside to try to hit him. And by the way, I think you would have been better off turning the opposite direction, turning right, so you can get your port torpedoes off on him. Because then you're not showing him broadside to get those torps off. But he hit you 6 times for 21,000 damage. Ouch. And compare that to everything else that smacked you. That's right. That's only 70 odd damage per hit. Right. Because most of the shell hits, if they weren't on the destroyer, if they were on the battleship, they were probably hitting armor, whatever. So not gonna pen.
Yeah, those are 127mm guns, I think. So the penetration is 21mm. So
Yeah.
gotta hit the superstructure or
Right. Right. And that's the
some
other
light
thing.
cruiser.
That's the other thing about the control click that helps, is that the control click gets it more on center. Better chance of hitting superstructure, although also technically better chance of hitting the armor belt and stuff too. So that's the problem of secondaries. So it'd be nice if you could say, go hit the center and then up a little bit, but the game doesn't let you do that.
Right.
Wargaming just needs to like I think they should do this in general. I can't believe I'm even saying it. The auto aim point for the secondaries should just be moved up.
Yeah, I agree. That would
I
fix
don't
it.
know if it would make some secondary ships too good and broken, but
Well, you can't have that. All right, so what would we call this one for the for the title? I'm thinking just click.
like
We could call it Puddin' was late again.
Sure.
right, Puddin is here.
No click, no boom. I like that.
I like that one. No click, no boom. Okay, no click, no clue. Clickbait.
Clickbait is good.
All your titles need to be clickbaity. I'm sorry. It's just it has to be
Mhm.
clickbaity.
Welcome back, Seabear. Moose bitten. Well, that's good for a ThudTwit, but I don't know many other people would understand what that means or whatever. Yeah, exactly. So right here, this is the part where you have the opportunity to turn to the right, and if you turn to the right, then you're showing less side on this Rosia. But instead you went other way and then just got
Right.
whacked.
Right there, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you still got a torpedo head in North Carolina, so that was funny.
He would have gotten one in the Sovietsky too if the Heinrich didn't kill it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw
Yeah.
it hit the hull or the wreck.
Yep. All right. Well, anything else ThudTwit, or are we good?
No, that's real good.
Awesome. All right. Well, as always, thank you for sending in the replay and supporting the channel and all that good stuff.